Hey friends, welcome back to the CNC Auto Channel. I'm your friendly neighborhood mechanic, and today I thought I'd talk about something a little different. Today I want to talk about cleanliness and keeping your workspace clean. A lot of people don't like working on vehicles because they think of it as a dirty sort of project or habit. And I want to show you guys something. I work on cars every day. You see my hands? They're clean, and I want to show you why. So I want to break this down into prevention and cure for simplicity's sake. Now, when it comes to prevention, there's a couple of things that we can do. First, if you've got a really dirty car that you're going to work on, clean that sucker before you bring it in your shop. Take it to the car wash or go outside with your pressure washer and blow all the nastiness off of it before you bring that thing into your shop. That'll keep all that oil and grease and grime from dropping on your floor, getting all over your hands and your clothes. While I'm on the subject of clothing, if you notice, oftentimes in my videos, I'm wearing the same clothes. I have certain clothes that I wear to work on cars so that I'm not getting grease and grime all over my wardrobe. So while we're on the subject of prevention, we talked about cleaning that car off before you bring it in, but a lot of cars are in the shop because they have a problem, and a lot of times those might be leaks. So one of the things that I would highly suggest you do if you want to keep your floors relatively clean is put some cardboard down or newspaper or something like that underneath the area where you've got leaks, and that cardboard will soak up. This is an old stain here. This cardboard will soak up a lot of that oil and keep it off your floor. But for fresh stuff like this, it'll capture it, and then you can wad this up and throw it away or clean it up here, as I'll show you in a moment. So while we're on the subject of prevention, one of the things that I like to do after you clean the vehicle, and really to help with the cleaning of the vehicle, use some of this purple power stuff. Not a sponsor, by the way, but I found that this stuff will cut grease and grime like you wouldn't believe. Soak it down with this purple power and then hose it off, and you'll be amazed at how clean that vehicle can become before you bring it in your shop. Now, when it comes to your person, I like to wear gloves, and the kind of gloves that I like to wear are a bright color. The reason why is because any grease or grime on this bright color, you can see it, and that way you know that you're dirty before you go and touch on your customer's vehicle or put grease and grime somewhere that it shouldn't be. I also like to get some that are made of really thick material, like these that are 8 mil thick, because they won't tear and then get dirt and grease and grime inside of your fingers while you're in the middle of a project. I'll go through 4 or 5 pairs of those cheaper, thinner gloves in the same time that I'll go through one pair of these thicker ones. So you might think that you're saving money by buying those thinner gloves, but you're really not, because you're going to go through more of those in the same amount of time as these thicker ones. And of course, the glove is going to cover, up to here. But a lot of times when we're working on things, we're going to get grease and grime past where those gloves go. And so in order to really help keep yourself clean in your forearm area, especially, what you can do is just get you some cheap lotion of some kind. Maybe pick up one of those little bottles next time you're at a hotel or something like that, just to keep in the shop. And you put that lotion on any exposed skin that you want to keep clean, and it'll soak in and hydrate your skin, and that's fine and dandy. But what it also does is it fills in all those nooks and crannies in between all those flakes of dry skin, and it will keep the grease from penetrating and staining your skin. And so when you go to wash after you get done working, it'll come off. All that grease and grime will come off of these areas that you put the lotion on way easier. So I love to use some lotion. Okay, now that we've talked about ways to prevent making a mess either in your shop or on your person, let's talk about how to clean up a mess if you do end up making one, which you will when you're working on cars, there's going to be some grease and grime to deal with. So one of the first ways is, um, of course, towels. I love these, shop rags in a box, or you can get them on a roll, maybe the blue ones or whatever. Um, I like them in a box just because it's just super easy to rip one off, clean yourself up a little bit, toss it in the trash. Um, if you've got a mess that comes out, say you release a coolant hose and all of a sudden you've got a bunch of antifreeze on the ground, or you're trying to change the oil, and no matter how careful we are, we always splash oil on things. If you get quite a bit out there, these absorbent mats are really great. You can soak up an amazing amount of fluid in one of these mats. I used to just try to use a bunch of shop towels, but I'd find that I'd use a quarter a box of shop towels trying to soak up the mess, when one of these laid down on top of that mess will wick it all in, and that'll save you a ton of money and also keep your space really clean. Once you have got some stuff on you, you're going to want to clean that off. So if you whatever doesn't wipe off with the towel, you're going to want to wash off. There's a few ways to do it. Um, One, of course, is Dawn soap. Again, none of these things are sponsors, okay? Just what I found to work best. Um, Usually use the blue stuff. I just happen to have a green one here. I don't think the color really matters. But the Dawn soap really cuts through grease. They used to run these commercials showing how the grease would just, move out of the way of a drop of Dawn soap. And it's true. It really does cut the grease off of things. Um, but if it's a little bit more than just a little Dawn soap can handle, what I really like are these white creamy hand cleaners. This is Goop, but you see Gojo as well as another one. But this stuff here, real creamy, doesn't have a weird smell or anything like that, uh, and it seems to cut through the grease so well. And you'd be amazed using this stuff how clean your hands can become from just using a little bit of that white creamer. Some of the cleaners that you can find, like this fast orange stuff, will have pumice in it. It's a real little bit of volcanic rock, real finely ground, so just grit. And that grit can, when you're washing with that soap, can really help to get into like your fingerprints or any little cuts or creases or wrinkles or whatever, and dig some of that dirt and grime out. So a good cleaner with a little bit of pumice in it, and sometimes I'll even mix the two together and just sort of make my own concoction. And that really helps. And as far as cleanup in the shop goes, let's say that you got some oil on the floor and you wanna clean that up. Uh, Again, you can use something like this, set it on there, and it'll wick up a lot of that oil and mess. And then you can just throw this away, or you can just use a bunch of shop rags or paper towels or whatever to soak it up. But you're still going to have a stain there. But one of the things that works best for cleaning that stuff up is kitty litter. That's right, just plain old kitty litter, the cheapest kind you can find. Says natural clay, and that natural clay will soak that oil in. So you just get your little kitty litter, and you spread it out on your mess, and you can just leave it there for a few hours or days or as long as you want. But what works even better, because the kitty litter comes out as sort of big chunks, what works even better is if you crush it up. You can do this with your foot. Just walk over the stain, crushing that kitty litter into really fine stuff. And that fine kitty litter dust will really soak up those oils and grease and grime messes very well, and it'll even soak it up out of the concrete. You can see here in this stuff here that I've kind of crushed up a little bit. You can see how it's turned colors because it's soaked up that grease. So just another quick tip to keep your workspace clean, keep your shop clean, keep yourself clean. So there you go. Those are some tips on how to keep your shop and your person clean and to clean up after you make a mess. And you know what? I'm sure that I've missed a ton of different things that you guys know about, and I'd love to hear about them. So leave us some comments down below for myself and for our community. There are things that you guys have learned as far as cleanliness is concerned, and we'd love to hear about them. You know, Not any one of us is as smart as all of us. So we need to work together, guys. I sure appreciate y'all tuning in today. Check out these other videos for more tips and tricks. And y'all have a wonderful day. God bless.